So here's how I got to my first 10 grand a month and how you can use these free lessons I'm gonna cover to do it for yourself. Listen, I basically was 18 years old and I dropped out of high school at some point when I found out about the fact that you could start an online business. This didn't require a lot of capital. I could just start doing this. I just felt like I could do it. So what the business was that I decided to start was a social media marketing agency. And now that term is very widely thrown around. It's very popular and stuff like that. But breaking it down very simply, it is just running ads for companies and getting freelancers to do that work for you, and then just building a business up that way, getting multiple clients, and then having your monthly run rate go up and up and up. That being said, I was in high school and I just decided, okay, I'm gonna quit this shit because I know that I can do this. I burned my boats, okay? And that was the first big thing that I did. Basically, I made a few decisions in one, right? I just quit alcohol and quit partying and stuff like that, and I quit high school and I quit my sales job that I had before that, and I decided to go all in on this business. And what I did was very simple. I just decided to look up local businesses in my area to start with. I grew up in Amsterdam, or like close to Amsterdam, and I would just call up these companies and I would just say like, hey, listen, I would just have different scripts and stuff like that, but usually I would just speak to the owner. I would follow up with, hey, this is Boyd, I run a marketing agency called Digital Presence. I saw your business online. I was just wondering, do you still have the capacity to take on new clients this month? Now, the reason I would ask that question is just because they would self-qualify to be able to have that phone call like, oh yeah, we do actually have the space for clients, right? And then I could follow up with, okay, got you. Well, listen, I have viewed your ads and your ad strategy or non-existing ad strategy. And being a marketing agency, I believe that we can highly improve that and we could deliver between 5 and 30 clients a month or whatever it may be, right? And then I would just set a meeting with them and then I would go there. Now, funnily enough, I didn't have a nickel to rub together. So I would actually go with the train or go on my bike, and I would actually go without buying a ticket or anything like that. I would sometimes get a fine, right? So I would try to avoid the ticket checker in the train. That's the way that I just got my first couple clients, right? I just got a few personal trainers, a few gyms, etc. We charged them 1K, 1,500 a month. Anywhere between that, I would get referrals, right? Once I started to get results and shit like that, I made my first 100 grand using the social media marketing agency. Now, at some point I started getting into consulting, like bigger deals, doing 15K, 20K deals with bigger companies and stuff like that. So that grew my revenue a lot. I moved to Bali at some point, then I moved to LA. And that was really how I got my first 10 grand a month business. Now, after that, as I said, I got into consulting. I grew to 100 grand a month by the time that I had my 20th birthday, which is about, a little less than 2 years later probably. And, from there on, obviously grew it further and expanded my various companies. But the lessons you can really take out of this is just a story, right? But the lessons you can take out of this is the first thing you really want to do if you're wanting to make some money online and start a business in general is you're going to want to think like, what are your actual strengths, right? I personally always loved human communication, sales, self-improvement, these types of things. And I felt like that could be very present in this business model, whereas something like drop shipping, maybe less, right? Because you're more sitting alone behind a computer, you're not really going to meetings, closing deals, that type of stuff. So it was something that appealed to me and played into my strengths as a human. So that's the first thing. And second of all, you gotta ask yourself, who can you model, obviously, to get these results? You gotta find someone that you can model so you can do it rapidly, right? Now, back in my day, I'm 23 right now, so it's about 4 or 5 years ago, there weren't as many people online. There's kind of like Ty Lopez, but that's about it. There weren't as many people to model, but right now you can get very specific, like, oh, I wanna do this exact thing in this exact niche, and you can find someone exactly for you, right? But start modeling people so that you can just get those results more rapidly. The third thing, and that's maybe the most important thing, is you gotta make this a must, right? You gotta make this an absolute priority in your life. You have to do this mentally, right? Because if you are starting out, the biggest thing for you is just gonna stay focused, do the work, that type of stuff. You're probably someone that's reasonably young, probably not used to really putting your mind to something, maybe it's sports or whatever, but this is different, right? It's not as entertaining usually, right? You gotta do the boring work. So you're gonna have to make it a mental must, like you must do this. You gotta find reasons, what is your why, to be able to really push you through the discomfort. And for me, one of the things was just literally, I dropped out of high school. Now I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying for me, that was a very big push. Like, okay, shit, I dropped out of high school. I really basically burned my boats. And there's other ways to do it. A big thing, guys, that people often discredit actually, but is making an investment in yourself. Once you put like 2K, 5K, 10K down on a mentor, on whatever it may be, that initial thing, only you putting down the money, tells your subconscious mind like, oh shit, I am serious about this. And if you do that, my dog is going crazy over there. If you do that, your subconscious is gonna give you those answers because now the leverage shifted, right? Now you must Otherwise, you just lost all that money. Your brain essentially moved towards pleasure and away from pain. So if you use something like that, doing an investment, having certain commitments, telling other people, putting it on social media, whatever, then you're gonna get your brain to have more leverage and it's gonna start moving towards much more quickly and consistently, just because otherwise it's gonna experience a lot of pain, right? And that pain might just be, oh, I just basically wasted 2K. So especially if you're a beginner entrepreneur, you need those types of leverage, right? To get you going. Some people have that inherent leverage. Like if you're literally broke, you're already gonna have a bunch of leverage, but create more leverage for yourself. Make it a must, okay? Then find those strategies, choose a business model or something that fits your skills that you find dope and fun to do. To an extent, you're always gonna have to do shit that is not fun, but at least it is within your lane. And then the stuff that you cannot do as well, you try to outsource it, okay? Find freelancers or do it yourself in the beginning and then outsource it. Any of those things. And then thirdly, model someone, okay, who's already done the thing. It's pretty simple stuff, guys. There's no rocket science here. Make it a must. Come from the identity that you already have done that. What personality do you need to be, okay, to be able to do that easily? Step into that, step into those qualities, develop those qualities through micro actions, from making your bed to making a sales call to closing a deal, right? Micro actions into that identity, and then you will absolutely get there with time or reasonably quickly. Hope that helps, my friend, and I will see you in the next one.